Josh Hunt. I'm a regional project manager on our team that handles all of our different incentive programs at the MEDC. I cover the west side of the state. We have a team of people that are all regionally based that cover the different parts of the states and work closely with our local partners to ensure that we are utilizing these new incentive programs well with the regional priorities and getting these best projects the incentives that they need to make sure that they happen here in Michigan. So what I'm going to do is basically talk a little bit, go over the high level information about what the program is, talk a little bit about the process, and go over a couple of case studies that are two real deals that have been approved under the program that show some of the flexibilities that we have with this program versus the old tax credit structure that we had and the tax credits that many other states are still giving out for these types of projects. And I promise that I will not sing because I don't quite have the same voice that the previous speaker had. So first, the program itself, it's the Michigan Business Development Program. It's a part of the new Appropriate Incentive Fund that the MEDC has received under the 21st Century Act that basically serves as a replacement for the MEGA tax credit program. It's a program that can provide grants, loans, and other economic assistance for expansion projects or traction projects in Michigan. What makes this different than the tax credits is that it's paid out on specifically negotiated milestones that we can tailor to the individual projects and work on the needs of the company that we are working with at that time. So all the projects have to be performance-based. It's not upfront funding before anything is done. They still have to meet those negotiated requirements before the payout is made, but it does offer much more near-term funding for the projects as opposed to the tax credit that was received over somewhere from 5 to 10 years. It's used for highly competitive projects because with this new program we think it's a great and flexible program, but it is more limited in terms of the amount of money that we have from this program compared to the old program that we had. Projects have to have significant job creation and significant investment related to them in order to look at this as a potential use of the fund. We do still have job creation requirements under the program that are in our guidelines that were established by the Michigan Strategic Fund Board, that for high technology projects and rural projects, they must create at least 25 jobs in order to be eligible for the incentive. And then for all other projects, they must create at least 50 jobs. And a high technology still follows the same definitions that we use under the MEGA tax credit program, where there's set definitions in the statute of advanced automotive, of engineering, of research and development, biotechnology, those different definitions that if a project fits in those definitions, they can qualify under that distinction. And then the rural number is also still same that we use for the MEGA. That's any county that has a population of 90,000 or less is eligible under that qualification. I've talked a little bit already about the flexible terms and milestones, but one of the other keys to this is that we still do require local municipality support for the project. What we're looking for with this is to make sure that this is a project that is a priority for the municipality, and that the municipality and the region, it's a priority for the region, that the municipality is providing some support to the company that helps make sure this project happens here in Michigan. So we're not saying specifically that it has to be an abatement, because we know there's some projects where an abatement isn't what is the most needed thing for the company. So the key that we're looking for with this is not to provide some form of local support that just meets the requirement, but that we can get a local support that specifically meets a need for that company. One of the other changes that's really helped speed up the approvals under this program as well is that any incentive for a company that's of $1 million or less does not have to go to the full Michigan Strategic Fund Board for approval. Within the MEDC, we have delegated approval for those incentives where must be signed by the chairman of the board, Mike Finney, our CEO, and then either the fund manager, which is a vice president at the MEDC, or the state treasurer. So Mike Finney has to sign all of them, and one of the other two has to also sign off on it. And that's really sped up the approval process for these types of incentives that are $1 million or less. And I think so far of the about 15 that have been approved, all except for 4 of them have been under this process. Anything over $1 million still goes to the full board for approval. The other project we had was a traction project that was a traction project for a $10 billion multinational firm out of Japan that had secured a partnership with an automotive OEM, and really now was moving forward with needing a new research and development facility for their project. This project was in the carbon fiber market, where they developed a new process that once they get into manufacturing could potentially make it much easier to be used in high volume automotive production. So it's something that fits well within the research and development in the industry that we have in Southeast Michigan, but it was also, they were receiving significant interest from Ohio. Ohio is providing a grant and a tax credit in support of this project. And so this one was 25 jobs, but jobs that were paying over $100,000 a year with $8 million in capital investment, and also the potential and the likelihood that wherever they located the research and development, in the near term they would also start doing manufacturing. Being an attraction type of project, they came in through our call center, which shows the various ways that these projects can come in and begin to move through the process. After that, the MEDC business development staff and the local community, again, met with the company, showed that partnership between the region and the MEDC. And then in this case, what was really different about how this one was handled is that we got into more specifics right up front in the offer letter with the type of disbursement schedules and the milestones and the payouts that we would have for this incentive package. And that's a little bit different from how we used to do it in the past when it was a mega credit. It was based on a formula, where what we could do here with the one company that we had a history with, that we've worked with in the past, we kept it high level. We let them know, basically, here's the value that we can do, and left it at that. Where in this case, because we had the full team involved at the front with the local partners, with the project manager, and with the MEDC business development staff, we basically right away got into what the potential disbursement schedules and milestones would be for this project. At that time, they then chose the location where they wanted to do it. After some back and forth on those milestones and the disbursement schedule, they accepted the offer, and then again moved through the formal application process to take this to the board for approval. The heavy competition that we had from Ohio on this project, because of the large amount of incentives that Ohio was putting on, because of the significant wages that they were paying of over $100,000 a year on this, we did a $375,000 incentive under this grant program with 2 milestones, again, both based on job creation, with an expected payout by 2014 on this one. And what this does is that we're showing that we didn't have to do it like we did in the past, where we looked at basically had the formula of what the mega credit was, and all you really could work with was the difference in years that the incentive was offered for. In this case, we were able to look at the specific needs of the project, what had to be done, and how did that payout have to happen in order to get the project here in Michigan, and that's why we had kind of this payout structure for both of these in the way that we did.